Hey guys, it's Lucky, and welcome back to another video on the channel. So first off, before we get started, I'd like to apologize for the lack of videos. It's been a hot minute since I uploaded. The only thing I can say is, there will be more videos coming your way, they'll just be at a more slower pace than, originally intended. Anyway y'all, in this video today, I found a website that has 65 questions to ask a Pokemon fan. And well, I'm gonna be going through some of those today. If you'd like to check it out, I'll put a link in the description for y'all to have a look for yourself. Anyway y'all, without further ado, let's get right into the video, shall we? Question 1. What was your first exposure to Pokemon? So my first exposure to Pokemon was when I was about 5 years old. And me being a 5-year-old, I would just walk into any room in the house. So I walked into my brother's room at one point, and he had my Game Boy. And I was like, oh wow, what you doing? And he was like, I'm playing my own game. And I was like, oh, what's it called? And obviously he was like, oh, it's called Pokemon. And at the time, I was only about 5 years old. I didn't really understand the concept of pretty much anything. And I kind of just watched, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I'm pretty sure a few days later, I must have given it a go, but obviously not really knowing what I was doing. I didn't really get too far, but I was still having a blast. That game was Pokemon Silver, and it'll always be one of the first memories I'll ever have of this game. Question number 2. How did you get into Pokemon? Well, this question kind of links into question 1, with, seeing my brother playing Pokemon Silver, and, enjoying what I was seeing. If we're talking, how did I get into playing the game? It would probably be when me and my other brother was playing through a save file together of Pokemon Leaf Green, and we both kind of worked really hard to get really far at one point. Question number 3. Who is your favorite anime character? Well, if we're going through all of them, my favorite anime character would actually have to go to Brock. So during my childhood, I watched a lot of Pokemon in the mornings before school. The main series that was on at the time was the Diamond and Pearl generation of the anime. And to me, Brock was really funny, because he was always in love with any of the Nurse Joys and Officer Jennys that came across, and it was just really funny to me seeing that. What are the different types of Pokemon? There are 18 types, so there are normal, fire, water, grass, flying, fighting, poison, electric, ground, rock, psychic, ice, bug, ghost, steel, dragon, dark, and fairy. My favorite type personally would have to go to electric type, because of just some of the Pokemon that are in there, they're just so goddamn cool. And I love all the electric type move animations, especially from Gen 5. It'll always be one of my favorite types at heart. Question number 5. What are the different generations of Pokemon? So, I don't know if it means as in describing what a different generation would be. It's the different series of games that come, usually every couple of years. But if we're talking about, the generations, so Generation 1 would be Kanto, Red, Blue, Yellow, and Green. Gen 2 would be Johto, with Gold, Silver, Crystal. Generation 3 would go to Hoenn, with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Generation 4 is the Sinnoh region, with Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Generation 5 is the Unova region, with Pokemon Black, White, Black and White 2. Generation 6 goes to the Kalos region with Pokemon X and Y. Generation 7 goes to the Alola region with Pokemon Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon. Generation 8 goes to the Galar region with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Generation 9 has to go to the region which I'm not sure because I haven't played the game yet, but it is Scarlet and Violet. Question number 6. What is your favorite thing about Pokemon? So for me, my favorite thing about Pokemon would have to go to the grind and just getting really far into the games. I really like it when you're getting close to the end of the game and you get that feeling of how far you've come and how much your team has grown since you first started out on your journey. And for some reason, that really just gives me a nice little warm feeling, Number 7. What is your least favorite thing about Pokemon? So, for me it would be really hard to describe since I really loved the whole franchise. However, if I had to pick one thing, it'd probably be how easy shinies have gotten to get over the past couple of years. The reason I like to hunt shinies on Black and White and below is because it's the original odds of 1 in 8,192, whereas anything newer is 1 in 4,096, it's still really uncommon to see these shinies. However, with the release of all of the ways you can now hunt for shinies in Scarlet and Violet, it's made it really easy to get shinies in my opinion, and they feel less rewarding. So that's my view on that. Number 8. Who is your favorite Pokemon trainer? So for me, I'm not really too sure how this question is being asked, but if it's gonna go from the protagonist, it would have to go to the Pokemon Black and White 1 protagonist. I don't know what it is, but when I saw the sprite for this one, it just kinda clicked with me. It just feels right, you know? If we're talking about just, you know, ordinary Pokemon trainers, it would probably have to go to N from Black and White 1. Now, I really like N because he's more of a mysterious character, and I like how kind of different he is to everyone, if that makes sense. Number 9. Who is your favorite Pokemon professor? I think on my end, my favorite Pokemon professor would have to go to maybe Professor Rowan from Diamond and Pearl, just because, I don't know, something about him is just, he's got a really good nature. At the beginning of the game, well, you get surrounded by a bunch of Starlies, and you kind of just have to use the Pokemon that are nearby to, you know, kind of fight them off. And without, you know, getting mad, Professor Rowan's just like, well, I guess you did defend yourself, and that's fine by me. Also, I really liked the idea that back in Gen 1 that you was gonna be able to fight Professor Oak. I really feel like they should have stuck that in the game. If you haven't seen the fight, there are videos on people doing glitches getting into this fight, and if you want to see me do it maybe one day, let me know. Number 10. Who is your favorite all-time Pokemon character? Human or otherwise? So I did answer this in a previous question with who's my favorite Pokemon trainer, and it also goes with probably my all-time favorite, which would have to go to N from Black and White. One of my favorite Pokemon of all time, however, would have to go to Grookey. I don't know, he's just adorable. Look at this bean. Question number 11. Do I prefer the anime more or the games more? Definitely for me, it has to go to the games. While the anime is cool, I feel like over time it gets a little bit repetitive to me. I couldn't tell you about the newer form of anime as I've only really seen up to X and Y, but it kinda got a little repetitive. The one thing I liked about every episode, however, is the Team Rocket being blasted off. It's wonderful.
Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again!
Number 12. What is your favorite Pokemon game? I think this one speaks for itself. Number 13. Which is your favorite starter Pokemon? Now this is a very, very, very hard question for me, because I love pretty much all of the starter Pokemon. Now, if we're going off the first evolutions, Grookey. Grookey any day. Or Oshawott. See, this is where it gets hard for me to decide. But I think my favorite max evolution would probably be Charizard. I know it's a fan favorite, but like, can you blame me? I mean, look at this shiny form. Number 14. What is your favorite fully evolved Pokemon? Definitely has to go to Luxray. Luxray is just hella badass. Number 15. What is your favorite legendary Pokemon? So, I've got a few favorite legendaries here, so I'm gonna list all of them just because. We've got Zekrom, Zapdos, Yveltal, Suicune. Definitely not the one that I've been trying to get shiny for about 5 years now. Definitely not Kyurem. My favorite of all time is Kyurem. Number 16. What is your favorite region? Due to the most experience and, well, it being my favorite generation, definitely Unova. I liked the addition of Castelia City, and it was a nice way to play around with the new camera angles that they had added into that generation. Number 17. What is your favorite gym leader / Elite 4 member / champion? My favorite gym leader has to go to the Dragon-type gym leader, or the last gym leader actually, of Pokemon Black and White, Drayden. And this is because, well, as difficult as the fight is for me, Dragon-types are awesome. All the Pokemon he sends out are extremely badass to me. And one thing I like about Pokemon are the badass ones. Number 18. Who is your favorite rival? For this one, definitely has to go to your rival in Generation 2. Because in this one, he really does feel like your rival. He is just an absolute dickhead to you and wants you to fail in every opportunity he sees you. And you literally have the opportunity in this game to name your rival Buttsex. Like, isn't that just beautiful? Number 19. What would you do if you found a wild Pokemon? So if it was up to it, I think it would be a good idea to become friends. If it wanted to fight me, however, I think I would either just freeze or completely run away from it and just try and lose it, because I'm not hurting that thing, and I don't want that thing hurting me neither. Number 20. If you could have any Pokemon, which would you choose? This is a tough one. It'd either have to go to Umbreon, Grookey, Bolton, Weasel, or Suicune. All of those are some of my favorite Pokemon, and well, if I could have all of them at once, that'd be awesome. Any of these Pokemon I would love to have as my friend, and well, they'd get all the head pats that they wanted, so I think they'd want to be my friend too. So I think that's gonna conclude it for this one. I didn't actually answer all of the questions, so if you want me to answer any more of them, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll make a part 2 of this. As I said at the beginning of the video, I'll be leaving a link to the questions in the description if you'd like to read them for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and it's nice filming again, so as always, it's Lucky, and ka-chow!